Namaste, my name is Ayush and I welcome you to the first episode of Godspeed Lightning Talks. This is going to be a podcast series where we'll come together to share, to learn, and to discuss with each other on meaningful topics. Not just around technology, startups, but even community, society, and everything interesting that there is to discuss. Something is actually really empowering all of this work happening all throughout the world. And that thing is the FOSS software, the free and open source software that we are all using to build our products and solutions on top of it. It's saving so much effort and time for everybody. And today we are going to talk about this FOSS moment. But for now, let us talk about why FOSS. Why is there this movement called FOSS or open source software? It is because a human being gets tremendous joy in sharing. The joy of sharing is what drives the creation of FOSS. And as well, FOSS is used as a strategy by some businesses to gain the brand publicity for their product much faster. So this is broadly why FOSS exists. Now, who empowers FOSS? So every FOSS project is run by a set of core developers who come out with that project, create that project, start building it, and eventually the second layer of maintainers comes who are the first users of this software typically, and they join you in maintaining that software. And then people start sending in small patches as you become more popular. People start reporting bugs also, and people even start documenting as your project grows. So who is at the heart of this? At the heart of this is the core team building this software and working with the maintainers. And the beneficiary is the entire community, who again comes back as contributors in different layers. So what does it take for a successful FOSS project to be? It takes all of these people coming together to make a successful FOSS project. So what is the dark side of FOSS now? If you remember Darth Vader, don't joke on your own aspirations, director. So let us explore what this dark side is. The first dark side of FOSS is there is no restriction of the kind of usage that anyone can do. Well, that by itself is not the dark side, but an implication it has is the dark one. That one could use it for anything. It could even mean fraud or weapons of mass destruction, warfare. It could mean any inhuman act that they may do upon another human being or rest of nature. So this is one dark side, that there is no limitation, no checks on ethical usage of the software. So we call ourselves, the tech ecosystem, to be like a community. We like to call ourselves community, but are we really a community? We say FOSS community, but out of every 10,000 developers on GitHub states that only 6 give back to FOSS. That means 9,994 are only consuming the FOSS software without giving back, at least in terms of even a bug report or a documentation. Nothing. And at the same time, everyone wants this software to be forever free. Just give me software for free. We love to use free software, don't we? Right? But for the FOSS developers, are there any free meals in the world? No, there aren't any free meals, right? Have you ever wondered that how do FOSS projects sustain? How do these developers feed their families and their team's families? So basically they have a job somewhere else, or they are asking for a donation, they are doing a crowdfunding campaign, or maybe they are hoping to get somebody pay for a customization. Maybe they are looking for services around their software. And then now some companies have also started doing this thing where they have tried what is called the open core model. So in the open core model, you have a free version of your software, which is FOSS, and then a premium version, which is the paid version. You use the freemium version for free, even money wise, like free as in do whatever you want, and as well you can use it without paying any money, right? But then there's a paid version, which is called the enterprise version. That is in which they have the bulk of other heavy features, let us say, or the mature features that you need as you grow. And often you need them in the very first day as well, but that is available as the paid enterprise version. So that one you have to buy, and that has limitations on what you can do with it, decided by the company. The open source community wishes to have the free version always available and always wants that the free version must continue to grow fatter and bigger. While the company, the startup, or the developers who made this software, they want that in order for us to earn scalably or earn from a customer, we should make money, and that's why we've made the paid version. If we keep giving away everything for free, then how will we make money, right? But then the community again goes back and says, hey, come on, we contributed to your project when you started small, and you became famous because of the open source version, and now today you want to start earning, but what about us? You're forgetting about your partners throughout the journey. Do we also have to pay for this? And that's the conflict that everyone faces, and no one likes to be in that situation. And this is what leads to love gone bad. And the love gone bad has gone bad from both sides. The FOSS users feel they are forced to switch to the paid version, and the company, the startup, feels that, hey, come on, we've given so much to you already, let us also earn, we also need to survive, right? So this is where the initial relationship, which started very rosy relationship, ends up in a kind of a conflict. That's the first problem of the open core model. Problem number 2 is parasitical abuse. So basically, imagine that somebody is using your strength and turning it against you as a weapon against you, threatening your own survival. So you've made this amazing open source software, you've given it away as a FOSS software, and then comes another company, whether a startup or a large enterprise, they use your software and they start providing it as software as a service, and they start charging their customers and start making money from this new business using your product. And at same time, you are also trying to sell your enterprise version or give your own SaaS, and now suddenly you have a competitor who's used your own creation to compete against you. So this is the second problem of the open core model. And the third problem that the companies face is profitability. In the end, you have to make profits to grow. As a team, as a unit, as a business, it is practical way of doing things sustainably and nice. And when such a company is profitable, everyone benefits, not only the team, but even all the users of the FOSS software or the enterprise version. Everyone is benefiting because you can get rapid customizations, you can get new features on your demand, and the project is in good hands because it's a stable, sustainable, profitable company. So hence you can use that software into your business. You have that confidence. So profit is very much required for the whole ecosystem to succeed. And that's the third problem, that so far many of the open core companies, in fact most of them, are yet to make profits. So after all of these problems, what's the end result for the developer? The developer says, buy me a coffee, bro. If you go onto their pages, you go onto their NPM repositories, they are looking for donation. Is this fair that millions of businesses use your software and they make billions of dollars together? Of course, some fail or some are starting up. We are not talking of them. But at least whoever is running has funds, has profits, has revenues, and is a growing company. they can pay for this software, right? So why do the developer have to say that buy me a coffee and ask for donation? Because millions of people are making money from what you do. So what's the result? When these FOSS projects fail to sustain them, what's the result? The developer eventually loses interest, he loses motivation, she loses all the desire to continue with the project, or maybe some financial pressing situation in life just pulls them in another direction where they don't even have time now to give back to this project, to continue giving to this project, not giving back, sorry. So hence they burn out and everyone loses. All the users of the software now don't get updates. They cannot ask for customizations from this team who's not available anymore. So the whole ecosystem loses and even they have to then leave this project and go somewhere else. It's a loss for everyone. As a result, there's a complete burnout after a while. When you're not able to sustain your work on this project, you have to go somewhere else, you lose your motivation, and it is everyone's loss at the end of the day, right? Because even all the users of your project, they have to find something else or maintain your repository, which is hell lot of a work to do looking into another developer's code, right? So you never want to get into that situation ever again, but it happens. And what's there is really, heart-wrenching for me, is that these people with whose software there are thousands, maybe even millions of businesses who are making money using that software as a part of their machine, right? Somewhere, maybe in this capacity or that capacity. But these developers have to ask on the project page or on their profile, buy me a coffee. How fair is this? While one is buying an island or maybe sending a rocket to Mars, but here the developer whose software is used is saying, buy me a coffee. So what is the solution? The solution is another approach called source available or shared source, in which the developer puts additional restrictions on how the software can be used or for what purposes. By deciding this, it is possible that a company or a startup can end this conflict caused in the open core model, and it can be safe and it can be free of this conflict forever. The model is that there is one version for all and it is a shared source version. So everybody, whether a startup or an enterprise, gets the same version of software. There's only one repository and everyone gets the best version from day one. And as well, for early stage startups or not for profits, you keep it free for whomsoever who needs it in the right moment at the right time. You help them out by giving this for free as well, and they give back when they grow. The third part of this solution is that developers can also choose the ethical licensing model as well. That you want that people who use this software only do it for purposes that are aligned with you. That's called ethical licensing, and that's also possible going the shared source way. And we can work together to make the world a better place by at least putting in some restrictions on usages, on causes we are aligned with and we are not aligned with, somewhere drawing that boundary that humanity really needs. So in the end, this is a win-win situation for everyone because everyone is growing together. Everyone's effort is fairly compensated and it's a mutually helpful and trust-based ecosystem. Creators have the right and the need to earn, and the users have the duty and the need to pay. So, what is the strategy we are adopting at Godspeed? We are going, obviously, the source available way. There is one software for everybody. It is free for non-commercial use and learning. It has a restriction of no violence on humans or animals, and it has also another restriction of no compete with Godspeed. At same time, This is going to be free for early stage startups for their initial growth journey so that they can pay back as they grow to the whole ecosystem. The second part of our strategy is partnership with FOSS and tech. We are going with a collaborate versus consume or compete model. Means we prefer to collaborate and not consume or compete with you. Second, we want to share transparently and fairly our earnings with all the software we use across our entire technology stack, right from the developer machines onto the software we write and we ship to our users from our repositories, and to everything else we use on the cloud. Whatever software we are using, if it's an open source software, we are ourselves going to go and pay them, share with them our income. And secondly, for startups, there will be free credits for early stage startups so that they don't have to worry about costing when they start. Godspeed is going to partner with them to help them grow in their early stages to their rest of their journey as they grow and give back to the ecosystem, because when these startups will become bigger companies, they will give back to this ecosystem, to Godspeed, to all these FOSS softwares. Every company, every plugin module being used in the Godspeed ecosystem, being used by the customer, will find an equitable distribution coming to its creator based on the principles of justice and fairness. I hope it does make sense, but even if something feels wrong, and it is quite possible that I could be wrong somewhere, please drop in your comments whether you agree or disagree, or if I have left out something or I have mentioned something wrong, I have passed in a wrong information, please feel free to correct me. Whatever I have shared here is based on my research, and I am open to corrections, and maybe you can actually help improve this talk even more. Thank you so much for joining on today's first podcast, FOSS, the dark side, and from free to fair. Thank you so much, and I hope you had a meaningful time listening to this. Thank you.